South Africa's music industry is probably one of the biggest scams this country has ever seen, and that's impressive considering we've got load shedding, potholes the size of craters, and politicians who can't find their laptops even when they're asked about corruption. But let me tell you, the music industry here, that is next level daylight robbery. It's like being mugged by someone who smiles at you while they're doing it. And before I start this video, don't get any wrong ideas on this. I'm not going to insult or belittle the era of the SA music industry right now, any of that. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be exposing what's really going on behind the scenes in our music industry and how you might have noticed it but not really noticed it, if you get what I'm saying. You see, it starts like this. They sell you a dream. Be a star, they say. Be the next Brenda Fassie, Lucky Dube, they promise. But what they don't tell you is behind the glitz and glam, it's a system designed to crush your dreams faster than Eskom turns off the lights. And let's not even get started on the immorality being pushed on our children in the name of entertainment. Brenda Fassie would be rolling in her grave if she saw what we call music today. First things first, the music industry isn't about music anymore. Tell me if I'm telling lies. It's about contracts, it's about winning awards now. And let me tell you, these contracts are shadier than a free state tender. You've got artists out here singing their lives away because a label promised them fame, a car, and maybe even a chance to perform at Gonga. But in reality, that contract is a ticket to slavery.
If you sign me, you signed me to a record company,
Right.
or a record deal, let's suppose you have a record company,
Right.
how much would you give me? The album sells for $18, right? $18?
Whatever, yeah.
All right. How much of that would you give me?
Well, I don't know how it works.
Well, no.
Half?
Half? Half sound good?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. If I sell 1 million copies, I'm going to have $10 million, right? Roughly $10 million.
Right.
If I sell 2 million copies, I got $20 million.
Right.
If I just sell 3 million copies, I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right?
Right.
So Mariah kind of got screwed.
And I'm not even joking, some of them even tell you this. Let me explain something. Most South African artists don't even own the rights to their music. The truth. They're outpouring their heart and soul into these songs, but guess what? The record label owns everything. These artists can't even play their own music at a braai without asking permission from their labels. Did you know that? No, you didn't. It's so bad. They'll probably get sued for singing their own lyrics in the shower. That's how bad it is right now. The record labels make millions, not the artists. The artists are lucky if they can pay for a kota at a local spaza. Do you know how many of your favorite artists are out here performing at clubs just to pay rent? And not cent rent. I'm talking about a backyard little penthouse in Soweto. It's like these labels are running a pyramid scheme. They promise you the top, but most artists, let's be honest, they end at the bottom, holding a mic and hoping someone remembers their name. And if you think I'm telling lies, tell me exactly how many artists probably tried it this year, but how many you've actually even heard of in the radio. You can't. Even if you did, you'd have lost track if you were counting the amount. Brenda Fassie didn't have to twerk in a music video to make people listen. She made music that mattered. Now our children are growing up on songs that sound like they were written by someone on TikTok during load shedding. Brenda Fassie gave us Weekend Special. What do we have now? We've got Umlando challenges, kids twerking, and songs with lyrics that make you lose brain cells and reduce your attention span. You'll hear a track on the radio, and the only thing you'll remember is the hook, because it's just 2 words repeated 50 times with a catchy beat. And the sad part is our kids think this is normal. They don't know the type of music that we had back then. Now I want to talk about the music videos, because back in the day, you'd see artists performing in traditional outfits, showcasing our culture, Now every video looks the same. Half-naked dancers, champagne bottles, OnlyFans models, and a rented G-Wagon. The only thing African about these videos is the location. And even that is debatable because it's probably a club in Dubai. I want us to take a trip down the memory lane, shall we? South Africa used to have legends. Brenda Fassie, Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Lucky Dube, Johnny Clegg, many others. These were artists who put us on the map. Bojo Mafela, there's many. They sang songs with meaning, that's why. Songs that resonated with people in the soul. Now we've got kids making music on their laptops and then they upload it to TikTok hoping to go viral. That's not music, that's not what it's about. It's not just about a catchy beat and 2 lines repeated over and over again. Who did Yvonne Chaka Chaka perform for? Nelson Mandela. Now who do today's artists perform for? Influencers at bottomless brunches. How did we go from being Princess of Africa to being the jester of Instagram? Even with Amapiano, I'll give you an example. It's awesome, but it doesn't have the same depth. Let's be honest. No, let's be honest. Brenda Fassie doesn't need a viral dance challenge to make her music iconic. And let's talk money since we're talking about that, or the lack of it. Do you know how many South African artists die broke? Too many. This system is so rigged against them. The record labels make all the money, while the artists are out here performing for exposure. And exposure doesn't pay the bills. You can't walk into ShopRite and buy groceries with clout. I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. Imagine being the biggest artist in the country and still having to borrow data to post your next single. That's the reality of a lot of these artists. Meanwhile, the label executives are on vacation in the Maldives, sipping cocktails and counting their money. Even some of our biggest stars aren't immune. Do you know how many of them don't even own the houses they live in? They're busy here driving their flashy cars, but those cars are rented for music videos. The moment their contract ends, they'll be back on square one, back into square one, back on foot using my city bus card. Let me tell you about the biggest scam of all, the dream they sell you. The music industry sells the idea that if you're talented, you're gonna make it. They don't tell you the harsh truth about the hundreds of artists who were talented but were chewed up and spit out every year like chippies. Because for every one nasty C, there are thousands of kids with broken dreams stuck working at a call center and wondering what went wrong. Your average South African artist's career lasts about as long as a season of Big Brother Mzansi. You hear about them at one moment and then you forget about them. They are famous today, forgotten tomorrow. And the saddest part is that these kids think fame is the goal. But fame doesn't equal success, unfortunately. Half the people you see trending on Twitter are broke. They're literally good at pretending. So good they look rich to you. Let's end with this. Brenda Fassie was a legend. Yvonne Chaka Chaka was a legend. Lucky Dube was a legend. Johnny Clegg was a legend. These were artists who defined an era. They didn't need flashy cars or TikTok trends. They had talent, substance, voices, and authenticity. Now we've got artists out here doing the absolute most for clout. Brenda Fassie didn't need to twerk to sell records. Yvonne Chaka Chaka didn't need to dance on a pole to sell records. Tina Turner didn't have to have OnlyFans models in her music videos to sell records. Whitney Houston didn't have to twerk to sell records. She took crack, but yes, she had actual talent in the end. She didn't need to go on Instagram Live and beg for followers and make our little girls watch them wear the shortest of skirts and do ceiling challenges. They were so iconic, their music is still relevant today, and it will be tomorrow. Can you say the same about half the artists on the charts right now? Does anyone remember Prince? Remember Prince, that American singer who was able to play almost every instrument? You know, the one that passed away, was it 2018, that legend. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. You know, the one who sang the Purple Rain song when our parents were teenagers, right? Remember what he used to say? It was something like,
"Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix." There is a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. And the prize is the soul. So, just be careful. Be very careful. Thank you.
There's nothing wrong with this era of technology we are living in, but make sure it's you that controls the computer, not the computer controlling you. Because there is currently a war in your mind, and the price is the soul. The solution is simple. The system needs to be fixed. Artists deserve to make their own music. They deserve to be paid fairly. And we as fans need to stop supporting mediocrity. Remember when he said that? If we keep letting the industry exploit our talent, we are going to lose what little credibility we have left. Support real talent, because South Africa still makes good music. And it's a shame that the artists who make that music are exploited the way they are. And if you're an artist watching this, can you do me a favor and read the damn contract before you sign it? Because if you don't, you'll end up broke, bitter, and forgotten. Just another victim of one of the biggest scams in this country. Yes, maybe even bigger than load shedding. So is South Africa's music industry really a scam? I'd call it more of a pyramid scheme, right? Because it's become a machine designed to exploit, destroy, and disappoint. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You can demand better for yourself as an artist. You can be better. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice and your decision, and South Africa has the talent. Let's be real. What we're missing is the integrity. And until we fix that, the industry will stay a pyramid scheme. And we'll just keep following for it. Peace.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules. So everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.